Okay, so today, like the title says, we are going to be pulling apart the B16 A2. I'm going to be taking the transmission off, the clutch, pressure plate, flywheel, alternator, starter. I'm going to be taking the head off of the block, the whole freaking 9 yards. I'm going to be taking all that stuff off. I'm going to see if I can actually take the oil pan out so I can like possibly see what's going on with the engine, but that's a maybe. Or I might wait until Thursday so me and Jeremy could look at it because he's better than I am. So yeah, I think I'm gonna just take the engine apart today, and then I'm gonna look over at the block and everything with Jeremy, and then we'll just go from there. Let's go take this thing apart. All right, so here's the motor right here. I'm gonna start off by taking off little things like this alternator, the starter, which I'm gonna be using on whatever block that I get. I don't think I'll be able to separate the transmission from the block if I leave this mount in. So yeah, I gotta take that mount out of here. I'm gonna be taking the head out, gonna be taking the spark plugs and all that good stuff. And yeah, we're just gonna tear this thing down and see how everything's looking. Alternator is up, and I'm gonna most likely need the brackets for the alternator because I don't think whatever block I'm gonna buy, I don't think it's gonna come with it. So I'm just gonna grab these 2 brackets also, and I think I might leave them on the alternator just to make it easier. So yeah, let me get those out too. So I have the alternator and its brackets right here, and I put all the bolts in the bracket, and I put these nuts on the end of them so I don't lose the bolts. I think it's a pretty smart thing to do when you're doing something like this because you don't want to be short on bolts. Starter is up. So when it comes to this, the bottom bolt is the longer bolt and the shorter bolt goes to the top one. And I'm also gonna be putting nuts on the end of these so they don't go anywhere. All right, now I'm gonna start taking apart the head, because if I take the transmission off now, then the engine's gonna be sitting this way. So I'm gonna take off the head, and then after I'll take off the transmission. I'm also gonna take the spark plugs out. I don't know if you guys can see these plugs, but they're pretty burnt. So yeah, also pretty burnt. This one looks like it has some oil on it. And this one has even more oil than the last one. All right, now let's lift up the valve cover. I took these rubber washers for the valve cover off because they're all in pretty good condition, so I'm probably gonna reuse these. Here it is. Everything looks pretty golden, but I don't know if you guys can see it, but the oil was pretty dirty, like pretty dark. Yeah, it's really dark and cloudy actually. I don't know. All right, but the next step is we're just gonna be removing these top plates, and then we should be exposed to the cams. bolts out. Now I should be able to just lift these plates off. Boom. I watched a video. It said that both of these plates, they're identical. All you gotta do is just make sure that you line up the dowel pins. But after that, they're basically the same. So, yeah. I'll take these down here. That down there. Now we're exposed to where the cams are. And we just gotta take these little plates out. I mean, they're not little plates, but you know what I mean. All right, so I got them all lifted off. As you can see, they're all loose. Now, the way that I'm gonna know where these go is that they only could go in this spot. This end is different from that end. So yeah, you can't really mix these two up. Or you could just say that these bigger pieces go towards the cam gears, and this one goes towards the distributor, and that one goes to the Vtec solenoid. So, you know, you can't really mix them up. And this one for the freaking distributor is actually taller than the one for the Vtec solenoid. So you really can't mix these up. And then for these, the way you know where they go is that this one and this one are pretty much the same. All right, and then this one is different. You can tell this one goes in the middle because this one has this right here. All right, and now for these, I'm pretty sure they're the same. You guys could correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're the same. And the way you know how to put them is that these little lines right here, they are faced towards the engine, towards the front of the engine. So that's how you know not to put them this way, you know. All right, so I have them all put to the side in order right here. Got the cams right there. And once you remove the cams, the bolts are exposed right in here. Looks like they didn't use aftermarket like ARP head studs. Looks like these are stock bolts. So I think they should be a 14 millimeter. So I'm gonna go ahead and take those out. All right, that was a pain, but I got all the head bolts out. I took all the hoses and miscellaneous things that are still hooked onto the head, and now this thing should be ready to pop out. So let's take this thing out. All right, here's all the head bolts right here. I was told by a friend a long time ago that you can't reuse these because when they're put inside the block, they're made to stretch. So I'll definitely be replacing these with the ARP head bolts that are coming with the Vtec kit that I'm going to be buying. All right, so here's the valves. They all are seated pretty fine. They're all flush and they're all intact. The only ones that I'm worried about are the ones in cylinder 4. They're pretty burnt. Yeah, nothing too bad, but like I said, they're all flush. They're not really out of place at all. I sent pictures to a few people to see what they think and to see if I should just swap them out or if they're good. So I guess we'll just see what they have to say. Now all that's left is I'm going to take apart this transmission from the block, and then I'm done for the day. All right, so I got all the bolts out of the transmission. Now all I need to do is just to split it. So this is the aftermath of pulling that stupid head out, man. Jesus Christ. That was way harder than it should have been. Word of advice, if you're gonna be pulling a transmission off of a motor and it's not on an engine stand or it's on a table and you're the only person, please go and get another person. And 2, if you have this little dust shield that covers the transmission, a lot of people do not have that. A lot of people just be having their flywheel exposed and stuff like that. If you do have that dust guard, take it off before you try taking out your transmission by yourself, because the flywheel will get caught on that dust guard. All right, so the only thing that's left to do is I'm gonna remove the pressure plate and I'm gonna remove the flywheel. And then after that, I'm gonna clean up and then I'm gonna get the hell out of here because it's late and I wanna go home, I'm tired, and I have a video to edit. But that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, man. I'm tired. I put a lot of work into this, especially doing it by myself. And to be honest, this is my first time ever taking apart any engine by myself. Like, I've watched people take them apart, but I've never done it myself. So yeah, this is a first for me. So now in my next video, I guess that's when we're gonna talk about the condition of the head and the condition of the block and all that good stuff. And then I guess we're gonna see where we're gonna go from here. If I'm gonna do a full B16 or if it's gonna be a B20 Vtec. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys for the next one. I'm out.
Easy. Girl, I used to do it, told me niggas ain't shit. Probably she was used to fucking with all of them counterfeits. I'm cut from a different cloth, mine be cashmere. So I adhere to what niggas would call surreal. That's getting chips, no poker game. Making boss moves like Dame. Dash past the niggas that's in it just for the fame. I wanna get the checks and be the GOAT, no Billy.